All right. Welcome, welcome. What is this, you might ask? Weekly prediction, weekly review. Well, I really enjoy the Super Auto Pets weekly packs, and I just enjoy making videos as well. I don't expect this to get any traction, but it's just going to be a fun little personal project. Pretty much at the beginning of the weekly, I'm going to make a prediction completely off the cuff of what I think will be good in the weekly, the different strategies available, and then at the end of the week, I will make a review about what I think worked, the different things I saw people running, and all of that kind of stuff. And then I'll upload some runs throughout the week. So that's what this is. And this one is a little bit fake because it is currently Tuesday. So I've been able to play this pack for about 48 hours. This weekly is right after the unicorn pack came out, which I have been having an absolute blast with. But so some of those pets are in here. They've also got some pets that, like, I don't know where these are from, but it looks like they've got some pets that are just in weeklies, because if you go to make a pack, they're not even in, like, it doesn't say what pack they're a part of. I assume it's pack 6 because it says I own them, but like this one, this is not in pack 6. But anyways, I'm getting distracted. But I don't even know how to leave this menu. There we go. So let's look at the weekly pack for this week. It is the 6th of February. So 2 days after February 4th weekly. I already have some observations, so this will be like a pseudo prediction and pseudo review for this weekly, but I've already had a lot of fun with it, and I think it's a fairly dynamic weekly. There's a lot of scaling, but at first glance, the thing I noticed was there's a lot of attack scaling and then a lot of ways to mitigate damage. So, you know, we've got the Doberman with coconut perks, we've got garlic, we've got the gorilla, we've got the reindeer, we've got, what else? The ox. So this is not really like a full-blown, like, get a bison and just like scale everything to 50-50 weekly. The thing I have noticed in the games I've played is it's a lot about making sure that every single one of your units has a lot of attack, because if you can get a lot of attack to make sure that your units at least guarantee trade 1-for-1, a lot of times you can get them to trade 2-for-1 with these different perks. If you don't do that, then you need to go for really fat units like buffaloes or a really big porcupine, things like that. So there's not a lot of like sniping or good ailments to apply. We've got the burn from the red dragon. There's a little bit of sniping with the blowfish, which can work. It has to be pretty big though, because there's no pineapple to boost its damage. So the problem with scaling the blowfish and using it is, while there's a lot of attack scaling, which usually means that all of your pets stay relatively low health so the snipers can actually be really effective, the way that you scale health in this pack, there's still actually going to be, you know, in the 15 to 20 range of HP, and it's pretty hard for the blowfish to straight one-shot people through that. So I've seen blowfish builds in the late game, but I don't know if those are really getting to 10 wins. There are quite a few dead pets in this pack, in my opinion, but let's just break it down tier by tier really quick. I think the tier 1 is pretty fun in this pack because there's a lot of ways to get 2 wins really early. You've got all of your 3 attack units with, you know, the beaver using a horse on the ant or cricket, silk moth, all that kind of stuff. I have found that turn 2 like just directly revolves around these axe handle hounds. Everyone's grabbing duplicates to try and get their level up on turn 3. So if on turn 2 you have at least one axle hound, which is what I'm going to call it now, you get like pretty much a guaranteed win on turn 2. which is really nice because if you don't have that, then that means you're going to have to go even longer when everybody else has that. Really, really tricky. So I really like the level 1. Warg is pretty dead because you need mana to make Warg work, and the only source of mana in the pack is the Sleipnir on tier 6, which is a really long time to carry a Warg, and obviously if you're buying a Warg on tier 6, like that's just as bad. The only other mana user in the pack is the Sea Serpent, and you can do Sleipnir and Sea Serpent, but that is also pretty hard to achieve in the late game. I've found that a lot of this pack comes down to just mitigating losing health in the mid game by just taking really good, solid statted pets. So that's tier 1. Tier 2 has a lot of options. I really like Nightcrawler. It's super good when you're on a pivot turn to just pick up a really healthy unit. You can even like summon a bunch of units using the Stoat and like crickets with pills and stuff, and then as long as you've got an extra pill saved, you can just delete the Nightcrawler with the pill in the shop for a really good unit that'll carry you to like turn 7. Lucky Cat 3-4, don't sleep on this. The 3-4 Lucky Cat is a lot stronger than you would think. It's really easy to level up, and you pretty much get a free win on the turn that it does level up. I've actually made a build work with Lucky Cat and Gazelle, putting a Lucky Cat with a Gingerbread Man, and just cashing in on the extra stats for the Gazelle. I don't think that's a consistent strategy though. No trumpets in this pack, so Squid is completely dead. Rat is really good stats, and you can also obviously grab a rat, and then on turn 5, if you get a hippo from leveling up, you can do a rat with a hippo to carry you to like turn 9 or 10. Porcupines, easy draws as normal. Not porcupines, hedgehogs. The Stoat I've found has a lot of like, you can do a lot of skill expression with this. You can use the Stoat to grab levels. You can use the Stoat to pop your buffalo. You can use the Stoat with the Nightcrawler, but you need to know kind of what you're looking for with the Stoat. Tier 3 is where we start getting into our carry units. I really like Ox this weekly because there's so many ways to juice attack, and there's a pill, so it's just really easy to scale them. You can pill a beta fish on the Ox, which is really nice. Deerlord, I think Deerlord's got some sauce, but I think it's a bait for the most part. I found the most success with Deerlord with pairing it with a seal. So you get Deerlord, then you use the bacon on the seal to spread the attack and also have a really good seal. But it's pretty costly because this is a pretty difficult week to run 4-squatted because the Deerlord is going to be killing stuff. But if you can do the Deerlord on like something that faints, like Deerlord on a Nightcrawler is really good, because it just summons a really good unit for you. There's ways to make it work. There's no toys this weekly outside of Old Mouse. I've seen one team that absolutely blew me up where they had pangolins and flying squirrels. They didn't even have the Old Mouse anymore, but they had used the Old Mouse to lock in a good toy. They used the Old Mouse to roll for a good toy and then locked it in with the squirrel. So that was pretty cool. Elephant on camel is obviously a good build, or on the blowfish, but that really will only net you one win in the mid game, and it doesn't last towards the later turns, so you really can't stick to it. So I don't really invest any stats in them. Parrot doesn't have a lot of great targets. Sometimes Parrot can be like the best pet in a weekly, but unfortunately the only really good targets I've seen is the red dragon, the rooster for the Parrot, maybe the ox, but you would have to already have a decent ox for this to be helpful, because you're usually going to be scaling the ox by the time you get the Parrot. It won't be caught up yet. So if you have the Parrot copying the ox's ability, but you haven't scaled the ox yet, then you're going to be like split too much trying to get both of their attack up. Hippo is always good in weeklies like this, where there's not a ton of really big chunky pets. There's a couple summons. You can always run this pretty well. There's not a lot of great ways to scale HP, so it's not the best, but if you can kind of catch lightning in a bottle, if you get it off of like a level up, it's pretty good. I've only made one run with the buffalo work. Your only real good sellable is stoat. So you got to freeze a lot of those to get value out of the buffalo. On tier 5, there's not a lot of craziness. I haven't used half of these pets. I mean, werewolf is a super opportunistic pet to begin with. Seal has some really great options because there's lots of good foods. Red dragon is the easy like fill pet. Rooster is really good because it's an attack scaling weekly. Obviously, if you can line up a squad with a bunch of different tiers, Poodle is really nice. But you might be wondering, why didn't I talk about the Hippocampus? I'll come back to that. Hamster is hamster. Nothing too special about it. And then tier 6, you have a couple of carry units. Gorilla, depending on where your squad is at, a great one can be nice to pull in if you don't have a great unit yet. If you're really high on health coming into turn 9 and turn 11, Lioness can be really good. Reindeer is always good again with weeklies that scale attack. But okay, I'm a unlock the secrets of the universe for you on this weekly here. Hippocampus has been a part of every single one of my good builds. So there's so many things that work with this. So you can do Hippocampus and you can have a carrot to give a ton of stats to a pet every turn for basically no price. Pizza, it will, make this crazy. Just right porridge, Poodle, Dragon. I mean, there's just so many ways to proc the Hippocampus, and there's so many pets that benefit from it. I've gotten several free wins just from Hippocampus and Dragon. It takes a lot to line up because you need to already go the Buffalo, but a really, 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 really good build is Buffalo, Hippocampus, Dragon, and then like a hamster or just, whatever other good unit you have, because you'll be proccing the Buffaloes from selling the level 1s with Dragon. Everything is benefiting from Dragon and Hippocampus, and it just gets out of control really, really fast. I've had a lot of success with like Hippocampus and Reindeer, Hippocampus and Rooster. The one thing you want to be careful of is Hippocampus and Seal. They both seem good, but you can't run both at the same time. You just don't have the gold to split between the two, because you need to either be buying stuff that's triggering the Hippocampus or buying stuff that's triggering the Seal. But that's my review of this weekly. I think, after I said there's a bunch of dead pets, I'm looking back at it. There's not as many dead pets as I thought. I mostly think that the toy and trumpet pets are really tricky this week. I think elephant, like all of the hurt boys, like elephant, camel, and blowfish, are pretty challenging. Doberman is really hard to pull off. And what was the other one? I don't think raccoon is that great this weekly either, because I mean the only perk that they're really gonna steal is a garlic, which I mean who cares. And Puma, also another toy pet that doesn't do much. I think that's pretty much it though. That's my weekly review. If anything else comes up by the end of the week, I'll do another one just for sake of protocol. But yeah, enjoy the weekly.